Hello everyone and welcome back to the History of Scotland. My name is Fraser and you're listening to episode 58, Catching Up with the Nobles Part 2. Last time we took a detour on court with the Scottish noble families during the reign of Alexander II and obviously leading on to Alexander III's reign and minority. We explored their roles, their power struggles and their influence over the course of Scottish history. These episodes are essential in setting the stage for the Wars of Independence, providing a deeper understanding of the key players and the shifting dynamics of power that would come to define this tumultuous period. Alexander II, who reigned from 1214 until his death in 1249, was a pivotal figure in Scottish history. His reign was marked by efforts to consolidate royal authority, expand the kingdom's territories, and navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries within the neighbouring England and within his own realm. To fully appreciate the era of Alexander II, it is crucial to understand the key nobles and clans who played instrumental roles during this rule. This week we'll cover various noble families and notables, including the famous clans that rose to further power during Alexander II's reign and other significant family members relating to the king. These individuals and families were not merely passive subjects of the crown, they were active participants in shaping of Scotland's destiny, each with their own ambitions, loyalties and legacies. By understanding the roles and actions of these nobles and clans, we gain a clearer picture of the forces at play in Scotland during the early 13th century. This exploration sets the stage for the forthcoming conflicts and the eventual struggle for Scottish independence. So, without further ado, let's just jump straight back into the late 12th and early 13th centuries and explore the noble families of Scotland. Our journey will begin with Marie de Coucy, the second wife of Alexander II and mother of our now Alexander III, King of Scotland. Marie's life and actions had a profound impact on the kingdom, from her influence at court to her role in ensuring the succession of her son. So let's head to her and see how she is coping. Continuing from our last episodes focusing on Alexander II, we turn our attention to his wife and mother of Alexander III, Marie de Coucy. Her story is one of influence and resilience, playing a crucial role in the royal affairs of Scotland during a pivotal time. As we know, Marie married Alexander in 1239. This union was not only significant because of her status, but also because she brought with her a substantial retinue of French followers, including her Chancellor, Richard Variant, and her nephew, Ermengarde de Quins. Ermengarde, who married Christine de Lindsay, a niece of John Balliol, would later become an influential figure in Scottish affairs, illustrating the intertwining of Scottish and French noble lines. Marie's influence extended beyond her immediate entourage. In 1249, 2 years after their marriage, she gave birth to the future king Alexander III. This birth was a pivotal moment in securing the royal lineage and ensuring the continuation of Alexander II's legacy. So, the death of Alexander II on the 8th of July 1249 during an expedition against the Lord of Argyll on the island of Kerrera marked a turning point for Marie. Upon receiving the news, she acted swiftly to secure her son's position by ensuring his coronation at Scone, despite his young age of 8. This immediate action highlights her determination to protect her son's inheritance and maintain stability within the kingdom. Though Alexander III was a minor and placed under a regency, Marie did not assume the role of regent. However, she remained a significant presence. On the 9th of June 1250, Marie and her son were present in Dunfermline for the canonisation of St Margaret of Scotland and the transference of her remains to a new shrine, emphasising her continued involvement in an important state and religious events. In the autumn of 1250, Marie returned to Picardy, beginning a period where she divided her time between France and Scotland. Her continued engagement in both realms is evident. In 1252, she attended her son's wedding to Margaret of England at York Minster, accompanied by a grand entourage of French and Scottish nobles, demonstrating her continued influence and the close ties between the two nations. Marie's personal life also saw significant changes. Around 1256 or 1257, she married John of Brienne, the Grand Butler of France. Though they had no children together, the political landscape in Scotland during her son's minority was fraught with these fractional rivalries. Recognising the critical nature of this period, Marie and her husband were named members of the Royal Council to help stabilise the situation until Alexander the III. Alexander II has passed away. Alexander III reached his majority in 1262. In 1264, Marie separated from John and returned to Scotland. Her influence persisted essentially and especially in matters concerning her family. Following the death of her daughter-in-law Margaret in February 1275, Marie played a key role in arranging Alexander III's subsequent marriage to Yolande de Dreux, further cementing alliances through marital ties. Marie de Coucy's later years were marked by devotion and piety. In 1275 and 76, she made a pilgrimage to the shrine of St. Thomas Becket in Canterbury, reflecting her religious dedication. Marie de Coucy passed away in the summer of 1285 and was buried in Newbattle Abbey in a tomb she had constructed, leaving behind a legacy intertwined with both French and Scottish nobility. Marie's life, marked by significant political and familial influence, underscores a critical role she played during a transformative period in Scottish history. Her actions and decisions had a lasting impact, not only on her son Alexander III, but also on the broader narrative of Scotland during the 13th century. And obviously, as we continue through the political narrative of Scotland, discussing the life of Alexander III, we'll keep up with Marie and explain more in detail of these key events. So, what about another couple of family members? Well, we have David of Huntingdon, who was a prominent Scottish nobleman born in 1144. He was the youngest son of Henry of Scotland, Earl of Northumbria, and Ada, which made him the grandson of King David I of Scotland. This royal lineage placed him at the heart of Scottish and English politics during his lifetime, making him a key figure in the interconnecting noble networks of both realms. We obviously know David. He played a larger role with his brother William the Lion, King of Scots, but we're more interested in his son, John. John of Scotland, also known as John the Scot, succeeded his father as Earl of Huntingdon. John came to the lordship following David's death in 1219 AD. He inherited not only his father's titles, but also his political responsibilities and alliances. As Earl of Huntingdon, John held significant lands and power in both Scotland and England, continuing the legacy of his father. During his tenure, John played a vital role in the political landscape of Scotland. He supported his uncle, King William the Lion, and later his cousin, Alexander II, in their efforts to consolidate and expand their authority. John's loyalty to the Scottish crown was unwavering, and he was instrumental in various military campaigns and diplomatic endeavours. His support was crucial during the conflicts with England, particularly during the periods of tension over broader territories. John's legacy, however, was somewhat marred by his lack of direct heirs. Despite his significant influence and contributions, John died without issue in 1237, leading to the division and redistribution of his estates. The title of Earl of Huntingdon eventually reverted to the crown, and his lands were divided among his surviving relatives and other nobles. This redistribution of land and titles marked the end of the Huntingdon line's direct influence, but their legacy lived on through their contributions to the political and military affairs of Scotland. Both David and John's legacies are marked by their steadfast loyalty to the Scottish crown and their active participation in the broader political and military dynamics of the time. Their involvement in key events such as the Third Crusade and various conflicts with England highlighted their commitment to their roles as nobles. Though the direct line of the Earls of Huntingdon ended with John, the impact of their actions continued to influence the course of Scottish history, particularly in the lead-up to the Wars of Independence. Right, let's turn to another famous noble. This is William of Sutherland. He was a significant figure in Scottish history and the founder of the powerful Sutherland family. He was granted the title of Earl of Sutherland by King Alexander II around 1230, marking the establishment of one of the most influential noble families in the Scottish Highlands. The Sutherland family under William's leadership emerged as a dominant force in the Highlands, a region known for its rugged terrain and strategic importance. The Highlands were not only rich in natural resources, but also critical for controlling access to the northern parts of Scotland. The area's geographic features made it a natural stronghold, providing the Sutherlands with both defensive advantages and opportunities for asserting control over trade routes and local clans. William's role during the reign of Alexander II was multifaceted. As the Earl of Sutherland, he was responsible for maintaining the king's peace in the Highlands, a region often characterised by clan rivalries and unrest. His leadership and military prowess helped stabilise this volatile area, ensuring the loyalty to the Scottish crown and safeguarding the kingdom's northern borders. One of William's significant contributions was in the involvement in the expansion of royal authority in the Highlands. He worked to extend the influence of the Scottish crown by building alliances with local chieftains and clans. Through strategic marriages and fostering loyalty among the Highland clans, William strengthened the Sutherland family's position, and by extension, the power of the Scottish monarchy in this remote region. William also played a crucial role in the political landscape of Scotland during Alexander's reign. He was a trusted advisor and supporter of the king, participating in various military campaigns and diplomatic missions. His support was vital during Alexander II's efforts to consolidate his rule and expand Scottish territories, particularly during the conflicts with the Norwegian crown over the Western Isles. The establishment of the Sutherland's family influence in the Highlands had long-lasting implications for Scottish history. William's efforts to secure and maintain control over this region laid the groundwork for the Sutherland family's enduring legacy. The Sutherlands would go on to become one of the most powerful and influential noble families in Scotland, playing significant roles in both local and national affairs for centuries. And we will keep up with the Sutherlands as we progress through our political narrative. Next famous family is the Balliol family. Yes, we're back with the Balliols, who became prominent in Scotland during the reign of David I, as we know. John de Balliol, the founder of the Scottish Balliol line, was a significant landowner and a loyal supporter of David I. The family's influence continued to grow with substantial landholdings in both Scotland and England, laying the groundwork for their eventual claim to the Scottish throne. Ingram de Balliol was a member of this influential family. Though his exact birth date is not well documented, he was likely born in the early 13th century. A descendant of Bernard de Balliol, who was a notable figure during the reign of David I, Ingram's lineage connected him to the larger narrative of the Balliols family's rise in both Scotland and England. Ingram's period of activity falls during the reign of Alexander II. During this time, the Balliol family was less significant compared to their later prominence during the Wars of Scottish Independence. This relative obscurity can be attributed to several factors, including the dominant influence of other noble families and the ongoing consolidation of royal power by Alexander II. Ingram himself, who was a minor figure compared to his famous relatives such as John Balliol, who would later become King of Scots, Ingram's role was primarily that of a landowner and a local lord, managing the estates and resources of the Balliol family. His contributions were crucial in maintaining the family's wealth and status, which would later enable their significant political ambitions. During the reign of Alexander II, Ingram's activities, including supporting the king's efforts to stabilise the realm and expand its territories. While not at the forefront of any of the major political or military events of the time, Ingram played a supportive role, ensuring the loyalty of the Balliol estates and providing resources for the king's campaigns. Ingram's relatively low profile during this period can be attributed to the broader political conflicts and context of Alexander's reign, his consolidation of royal authority, and the other big influential families at this time. However, Ingram's contributions should not be underestimated. By managing the family estates and maintaining their status, he laid the groundwork for the Balliol family's fortune rise. This foundation was crucial when John Balliol, Ingram's relative, eventually claimed the Scottish throne in the late 13th century, during, the Wars of Scottish Independence, which we will get to. Right, now let's start turning to some of the famous clans. We're going to start with the MacDougall clan, based in Argyll. They emerged as one of the most influential families in the Western Highlands during the reign of Alexander II. They were powerful lords of Lorne, a region known for its strategic significance and rugged beauty. The MacDougalls played a crucial role in the political and military landscape of the time, leveraging their geographical position and martial prowess to exert considerable influence. The origins of this clan trace back to Somerled, a 12th century Norse Gaelic warlord, our favourite invader of Scotland, who had a power base in the Western Highlands and Isles. Somerled's descendants, including his son Dougal, from who the clan takes its name from, solidified their control over these territories, blending Norse and Gaelic cultural elements. During the reign of Alexander II, the leader of the clan was Duncan, who held the title of Lord of Lorne. Duncan was a formidable figure whose leadership was instrumental in maintaining the clan's dominance in the region. His tenure as clan leader saw the MacDougalls continue to expand their influence and fortify their strongholds, including the construction and reinforcement of key castles such as Dunstafog Castle. Duncan's activities during Alexander II's reign were marked by both cooperation and conflict with the Scottish crown. On the one hand, he sought to maintain the autonomy and power of his clan, often engaging in local disputes and skirmishes to protect their interests. On the other hand, Duncan understood the importance of aligning with the king when it served the clan's strategic goals. One of the notable actions of the MacDougall clan during this period was their involvement in the Norwegian-Scottish conflicts over the control of the Hebrides and other western territories. The MacDougalls, with their Norse heritage, had long-standing ties to the Norse rulers of the Isles. This connection placed them in a delicate position as Alexander II sought to bring these regions more firmly under Scottish control. Duncan's diplomatic and military manoeuvres during these conflicts were crucial in navigating the complex allegiances and ensuring the clan's survival and prosperity. Additionally, the MacDougall clan played a personal role in the internal politics of the Scottish Highlands. Their strategic marriages and alliances with other powerful families helped to secure their position and expand their influence. These alliances were vital in the often turbulent and factional landscape of Highland politics, allowing the MacDougalls to assert their dominance and maintain stability in their territories. One notable event during Duncan's leadership was the construction of Dunstafog Castle, one of Scotland's oldest stone castles, around the mid-13th century. This stronghold not only served as a defensive structure, but also as a symbol of the MacDougalls' power and enduring presence in the region. The castle's strategic location allowed the clan to control key maritime routes and exert influence over the surrounding areas. Let's now move to the Clan Campbell. The Clan Campbell, which would later become one of the most powerful and influential clans in Scotland, was beginning to emerge as a significant landholder in Argyll during the reign of Alexander II. Known for their strategic acumen and ambitious expansion, the Campbells laid the foundations of their future dominance in this period. The Clan Campbell's origins are somewhat obscure, but they are believed to be descended from the ancient Britons of Strathclyde. By the early 13th century, they had established themselves in the region of Argyll, where their power and influence began to grow. The name Campbell itself can come from the Gaelic Cambu, meaning crooked mouth, which is thought to refer to a distinctive physical trait of an early clan member. During the reign of Alexander II, the leader of the clan was Sir Colin Campbell, often referred to as Colin the Wonderful. He was a dynamic and ambitious leader who played a crucial role in expanding the clan's territories and influence. Colin's leadership marked the beginning of the Campbells' rise to power, which would continue to accelerate in the following centuries. Colin's activities during this period were primarily focused on consolidating and expanding the clan's holdings in Argyll. He secured lands through a combination of strategic marriages and alliances and military actions. One of his significant achievements was the acquisition of the lands of Loch Ow, a move that provided the Campbells with a strong base of operations and furthered their territorial ambitions. Colin's ability to navigate the complex political landscape of the time was also noteworthy. He managed to maintain favourable relations with both the Scottish Crown and other powerful Highland clans. This diplomacy was crucial in ensuring the Campbells' continued growth and stability in a region known for its frequent conflicts and shifting alliances. During Alexander II's reign, the Campbells were involved in various military campaigns, supporting the king's efforts to consolidate royal authority in the Highlands and Western Territories. Their participation in these campaigns not only demonstrated their loyalty to the crown, but also provided opportunities to gain favour and further their own interests. One notable event involving the Campbells during this time was their involvement in their defence against Norse incursions. The Western Highlands and Isles were often targeted by Norwegian forces, and the Campbells played a role in the efforts to repel these invasions. Their contributions to these defences helped to solidify their reputation as formidable warriors, loyal subjects of the Scottish king. Additionally, the Campbells' strategic marriage alliances played a significant role in their rise. The marriages helped secure their position and expand their influence. This was crucial for them to establish themselves as a dominant force in Argyll and beyond. Right, and let's move to one of our final clans that we're touching upon today, the Clan Sinclair. Known for their significant presence in the northern regions of Scotland, particularly in Caithness and later Orkney, they played a crucial role during the reign of Alexander II. Their influence in these remote and often contested territories underscored their importance in the broader Scottish political and military landscapes. By the 13th century, the Sinclairs had established themselves as a powerful landholder in the northern parts of Scotland. During the reign of Alexander II, the leader of the Clan Sinclair was William de St Clair, the 4th Baron of Roslin. William's leadership was instrumental in maintaining and expanding the Sinclair influence in the northern regions. His tenure was marked by efforts to solidify the clan's holdings and fortify their position in Caithness, a strategically significant area due to its location and resources. William de St Clair's activities during Alexander II's reign included managing the clan's extensive landholdings and ensuring the loyalty to the Scottish Crown. The northern regions, particularly Caithness, were often subject to Norse influence and incursions. As a result, the Sinclairs played a vital role in defending these territories against external threats, contributing to the stability and security of the Scottish realm. One of these notable actions of the Sinclairs during the period was their involvement in the defence against Norse incursions and their efforts to assert Scottish control over Caithness and Orkney. The Sinclairs' Norse heritage combined with their Scottish loyalties positioned them uniquely as intermediaries and defenders of the northern regions. William de St Clair's leadership was crucial in these efforts, as he mobilised the clan's resources and manpower to protect their lands and support the king's objectives. The Sinclairs were also involved in various alliances and marriages that helped strengthen their position. These marriages with other influential families in the region enhanced their political clout and secured their alliances. These marriages were essential in the often tumultuous and factional landscape of northern Scotland, providing the Sinclairs with the necessary support to maintain their influence. In addition to their military and political endeavours, the Sinclairs contributed to the cultural and economic development of their territories. They were known for their patronage to the church and their support for local communities, which helped to foster loyalty and stability in their lands. The construction and maintenance of fortifications such as castles and defensive structures were also significant undertakings that underscored their commitment to safeguarding their regions. One of the key legacies of the Sinclairs during this period was their role in the eventual integration of Orkney into the Scottish kingdom. Although Orkney remained under Norse control during Alexander II's reign, the groundwork laid by the Sinclairs in asserting Scottish influence in the north contributed to the eventual incorporation of these territories into Scotland. And finally, we're going to be looking at Hugh de Lacy, Earl of Ulster. Hugh de Lacy was a prominent Irish nobleman whose interactions with the Scottish crown and nobility played a significant role during the reign of Alexander II. He was born around 1176 and was a member of the de Lacy family, an influential Norman lineage that established itself in Ireland following the Norman invasion. Hugh de Lacy's prominence in Ireland was marked by his control over the Earldom of Ulster, a strategically important region. He inherited the title in 1204, after the death of his father, also named Hugh de Lacy, who had been granted the lordship by King John of England. Hugh's tenure as Earl of Ulster was characterised by efforts to expand his influence and consolidate his holdings in the region, often marked by conflict and shifting alliances. Hugh's significant interactions with the Scottish crown occurred through his support for the claims of Scottish nobles who had interests in Ireland. The complex web of alliances between the Irish and Scottish nobility often saw figures like Hugh de Lacy playing a mediating role. His position allowed him to influence the relationship between the two regions, particularly in matters of military support and territorial disputes. During Alexander II's reign, Hugh de Lacy's activities included fostering alliances between the Irish and Scottish nobility. These alliances were crucial in the context of the ongoing conflicts with England and the other regional powers. Hugh's support for Scottish nobles, combined with his strategic marriage alliances, helped strengthen the ties between the Irish and Scottish aristocracy. Hugh de Lacy's influence extended to his involvement in internal politics of the Scottish nobility as well. His alliances with prominent Scottish families such as the Balliols and the Bruces positioned him as a crucial intermediary and supporter of their claims and interests. These relationships were vital in the lead-up to the Wars of Scottish Independence, where the support of powerful nobles like Hugh de Lacy would prove instrumental, especially in Ireland. Well, that has been our last big catch-up on the nobles before the big war for independence. We have explored the lives and legacies of several key figures and clans who played pivotal roles during the reign of Alexander II. From the influential Marie de Coucy to the formidable MacDougall clan, and from the strategic manoeuvres of the Clan Campbell to the burgeoning influence of Hugh de Lacy. These nobles and their actions set the stage for the conflicts and alliances that would shape Scotland's future. As we move forward, we will obviously dive deeper into the episode-centric tellings of the de Bruce family and the Balliol family and other significant players whose stories would come to define the Wars of Scottish Independence, providing a detailed narrative of the events and personalities that define this crucial period. Next week, we will take a look at the Scottish Parliament during the 13th century. Yes, this institution did exist, and it played a vital role in the governance and political life of medieval Scotland. So get ready to learn about its structure, functions and significance in episode 59, Parliament of Scotland in the 13th century. Following that, we'll do one last episode focused on the lords, clans and merchants in the 13th century. This exploration will provide a comprehensive understanding of the social and economic landscape before we return to our main political narrative with the young Alexander III. Remember, our podcasts are released weekly and we produce around 3 episodes a month. Sorry for the delay on this episode. Be sure to tune in next week for another exciting and informative episode. To stay updated and connected, give us a follow on Twitter at the History of SC1. That is at the History of SC1, or visit our Facebook page at the History of Scotland podcast. We also encourage you to leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Feedback helps us improve and reach a wider audience. You can listen to our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and many other great podcasting sites. If you head to our Podbean website, you'll be able to see all the different podcasting apps our podcast is available on. All that is left to say is thank you for joining us on this journey through Scotland's rich and complex history. Have a great week, stay safe guys, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.